Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to say Barakatah, Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, agree, millstones, salutations. So, all of the sincere Aki, I'm pushing the truth in all due diligence and sincerity, just continuing on in the vein of Esau, Edom being the devil. You see what they're doing right now in Lebanon, just attacking indiscriminately, saying, yeah, we're targeting Hezbollah strongholds and blah, blah, blah. You know, we're protecting the state of Israel, making sure that, like, nobody basically can uprise against us and blah, 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 blah. Yo, this, what's going on in the Middle East? And I mean, like, at the end of the day, like, this bloodshed and genocide is needed to fan the flames of war. But like ultimately it still doesn't change the fact that Esau Edom is the devil. You see, like I said, Yahushua told us there will be wars and rumors of wars, uprisings of the people, famines in diverse places. And right now Israel is bombing the hell out of numerous countries in the Middle East. They hit Yemen as well. A little while back. They hit Qatar. Sorry, as a result of them bombing Iran, Qatar got hit, but they hit Yemen. They've, of course, been hitting Iran, the people in Gaza. The whole Middle East state is basically fucked, mainly because of them. And now, you see, even in Lebanon, you got so-called Christians. Lebanon has like the largest so-called Christian population, about 40 to 45% of their population after Egypt. Now, we don't care about no fucking Christians, but the reason I mention Christians is like Donald Trump bombed Nigeria under the false pretense of mass amounts of Christians getting killed. And don't get it twisted, yes, you have some cases of that going on. But he went there and got Nicki Minaj on stage and was talking about, yeah, the Christians, we gotta do it for the Christians, etc., etc. And yet you're allowing Israel, your your ally to in evil, your ally in evil, your ally in Satan to just bomb indiscriminately and kill and displace Christians. Over 1 million people displaced, about 200 people dead from the recent bombings that they did. One of the deadliest, bloodiest days ever in their war with Hezbollah, mainly in the south, but also in some regions of the north of the country. And this woman just breaks it down. So without further ado, let's just play this video just to give you some visuals. I'm going to go into some scriptures, further proving that Esau Edom is the devil and must needs be destroyed. And yeah, we'll see. We'll call it a day.
What is your view of the Israel is just hitting indiscriminately, so anyone could be next. You can be living in your apartment in Lebanon, and underneath the pretense that a Hezbollah member is in your building can be struck.
So they could just they could just bomb your whole tower block and say you just had a Hezbollah member living there.
Israel is just hitting indiscriminately, so anyone could be next. You can be living in your apartment in Lebanon, and underneath the pretense that a Hezbollah member is in your building can be struck down and you can die. And in Beirut especially, it's attacked, very urban, very populated.
And that's because, you know, in the Talmud, they look at everybody that's a non-Israeli as goyim. They look at you like basically pretty much the scum of the earth. They look at us as even Jake. They look at the true Israelites, ironically, as being less than human, and they will call anyone else apart from themselves Amalek. Everyone's Amalek. They said the defense forces and Gaza or Amalek. They said loads of different Arab nations are Amalek, when in actuality, we all know who Amalek really is. But anyway, let's play the video.
Areas, killing lots of people who were just walking in the streets, minding their business at home, just doing groceries. And then it claimed that these were Hezbollah targets, which were not. What we're seeing here effectively is just Israel trying to destroy whatever is remaining at the moment of a very fragile social fabric in Lebanon. People feel very vulnerable and very defenseless at the moment. It's like they want us to be on the verge of collapse. I think the aim is to cause civil strife internally, to pit Lebanese against each other. People are very afraid because Israel has published yesterday a map of Lebanon that includes its entirety as a possible target. There are no more safe space. This is frankly something that can only be categorized as a terrorist attack. Israel is simply using intimidation and violence against civilians for some political and military aim that it has, pitting Lebanese against each other, and especially against Hezbollah, which for many is considered as the party that has brought Israel over Lebanon. So I think what Israel is wanting to achieve is creating that intense distrust internally so that it can further destabilize Lebanon and continue its aim, whatever it's doing in the south at the moment.
What is your view of the Iranian regime, which has been waging a despicable repression of its own people since 1979, which has been sponsoring terrorism all over the region through all these proxies, which is an incredibly malevolent regime? Do you feel the same way about the Iranian regime?
That's an excellent question.
Unbelievable. And of course, this devil Piers Morgan is owned by his small hat handlers, right? And Hezbollah was actually set up as a resistance movement against the small hats because of the fact that they just kept going into the country and killing Lebanese people. And now Esau Edom is trying to paint the picture like he's the saint, and Hezbollah and the I forget their names, man, but the resistance group in Gaza and all in Iran are just evil. And that's Esau Edom for you, right? Spinning these wicked narratives.
I would have loved to see Iran and how it would have evolved without foreign intervention. Same as the case with Palestine. I would have loved to see when they actually had a democratic leader, post-Shah, if he had been left alone, even though he wanted to nationalize the oil, if this man had been left alone, I wish to have seen what this Iran would have looked. I wish to have seen this region without meddling. But unfortunately, you cannot, and this is always the interesting thing. You cannot meddle in countries. You cannot meddle in their leadership. You cannot you cannot arm certain factions against one another. You can't pit people against one another as the division that has been caused in Lebanon by the occupation. You cannot do these things and then cry wolf when there's a mutant leadership that's been created out of this meddling.
Facts. But that's just the devil for you, and that's how Esau Edom operates. You see, like, ultimately, man, drawn swords, and they will get 1 second. This is Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. They'll get coons, and I can call him a coon because he is Piers Morgan, bought and paid for by the small hats. Yeah, they'll get people like him to jump on the news, blurting all sorts of nonsense that even he can't believe, talking about, but everyone other than the small hats are terrorists. Yeah, they're bombing civilians to get to their so-called targets. Yeah, you don't even know if a Hezbollah member really lives in your building, but we're going to take the whole block out anyway. Like, kill your grandma, kill your grandmother, kill your children, kill you. Yeah, do all of kill your parents, all of that. But we're doing it for the greater good. Just be a good guy. Like you'll get not a real Jew get on the stage and give a whole political speech and try and sound poetic. You'll get Donald Trump sounding like he wouldn't harm a fly, but he's got the nuclear codes and last week threatened genocide over the entirety of Iran. Psalms 55 and 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Donald Trump negotiated with Iran numerous times. They were in the middle of 2 negotiations when they killed the original Ayatollah, and then they also killed another high-ranking officer and bombed the hell out of them, thinking that they were going to get the uranium. Like, you can't trust this devil. And then Trump will still get on national TV and talk about how, the Iranians can't be trusted. When in actuality, in the middle of 2 political agreement meetings, to try and come to an agreement. You just snake them and stab them in the back and bomb them. But war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. I remember Bush and all of them got on TV talking about weapons of mass destruction. Tony Blair, that cunt, that devil, they have got on national TV. Iraq got weapons of mass destruction, and we have to go over there and invade. Otherwise, they could create a weapon of mass destruction, a nuke, and that's the same kind of rhetoric they used to push for Iran. Why is it that these small hats don't have to sign up to the so-called Geneva Convention, even though it's not worth the paper that it's written on? Why is it that they can just literally create nuclear weapons and not have to tell nobody and literally just bomb indiscriminately? If America cares so much about Christians, why is it not reining Israel in? Why is it not pulling away its funding? I'll tell you why. Because the small hats run the world, man, and they're lesser luminaries. Netanyahu, not a real Jew, got Trump and them by the balls, man. They got dirt on them, and that's why they're known as the Epstein class, because ultimately, man, that guy was just nothing but a Mossad agent. He's probably over there with the rest of the PDF files in Israel, chilling, sipping a pina colada, relaxing, waiting, with the whole world thinking he's dead. Yo, they extracted that guy out of there, man. So read this again. Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. You gotta understand that this devil has nothing but evil intentions in his heart. And that's why ultimately, man, we're instructed to prepare to and slaughter for him for the wickedness of their fathers, and in the spirit they are their fathers coming back. Isaiah 14 and 21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. That means that the Edomites that you see on the earth today, yeah, man, woman, and child, the Lord is going to bring judgment against you. The Lord himself will slaughter you. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew. Basically, pretty much, man, the entirety of your legacy, Esau Edom, is going to be taken. I will also make it a possession for the bitter and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction. The Lord's going to make an example out of you. And even the land of America, other than the land of America, Israel is going to be taken as well, man. Israel is going to be swept with the besom of destruction. That place is going to get swept with nukes, man. And hence why some of the immediate jobs of these elites and their lesser luminaries that are going to be hiding in those bunkers deep underground and in space and underwater, who we're going to conquer, their first job is going to be cleaning up some of those dead bodies, man. Because I'm telling you, yo, the judgment that is waiting to before these devils is going to be absolutely immense. Yo, absolutely immense. I can't wait. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor all the face of the world with cities. Basically, man, we're gonna put them in a situation where ultimately, man, they are crushed. We're gonna crush these devils, man. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord Jehovah of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith the Lord Jehovah. We gon' listen. I'm telling you, when the Lord gives us that autonomy over Esau Edom, we are going to put our foot on their neck, man. Revelation, the 13th chapter and the 16th verse, and in the 9th verse, so if any man have an ear to hear, let him hear, and that's spiritual understanding. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Now, ultimately, you got Jake and actual Israelites in Lebanon. Israelites. Because amongst those Lebanese, you got a lot of our seed, man. Israelite foreigners that are looking like they maybe even, practicing Christianity or Islam, or may not even necessarily even really be spiritual in any kind of way. But ultimately, you got Israel living amongst Lebanon. And although what I just read in Revelation, the 13th chapter and the 10th verse pertains only to Israel, meaning that, like, we're gonna avenge our slain. We're gonna avenge the dead amongst us, especially starting with the elect first and foremost, but ultimately for any evil that Edom has done onto an Israelite, they're gonna all come back in the reincarnation, and they're gonna get theirs, man. They're gonna get their recompense over that 1,000-year captivity period where we have Esau at our disposal. But even then, we're still gonna look at all the wickedness you've done to these nations, and when we set them as taskmasters over you, and they have autonomy to and authority under us to bring hell upon you, whether that be the Ishmaelites or the Hamites or even the Moabites, who still remember when you, and the Ammonites, sorry, who still remember when you dropped a little boy and fat man over over them. Yeah, those atomic weapons. Everyone's gonna want a piece of you, especially Amalek, man. Especially you people of Amalek, you small hat devils. Everyone's gonna want a piece of you, man. And listen, you better believe we're not going to disappoint them. We are not going to disappoint them. Amalek was one of the first nations that we fought against. Saul got thrown off his seat as king because he refused to kill Agag, man. Look, 1 Samuel 15:3, the instructions right here. Look, 1 Samuel 15:3, yeah? Saul was given an instruction. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have. Yeah, that's you small hat devils, even though nothing not a real Jew wants to call everyone else Amalek. And destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox, sheep, camel, and ass. He said even take out the animals. Yeah. Saul was given an instruction, and it says, and Saul came to a city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley. And Saul said unto the Kenites, go depart, get ye down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. So there were people living amongst Amalek, and he told them to flee, lest I destroy you with them. For you showed kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites, and Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag the king of the Amalekites alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. So he killed all the people in that region with the sword, but then he spared Agag. But Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep and the oxen and of the fatlings and the lambs and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile and refuse they destroyed utterly. That's not what he was asked to do. Then came the word of the Lord to Samuel, saying, it repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he has turned back from following me, and have not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto the Lord Yahweh all night. And ultimately, pretty much Samuel went and met Saul and cast him out, man. And then Samuel himself took his own sword and killed Agag with it. Now, what you gotta understand is, like, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, don't play when it comes to these devils, man. And he's gonna give us our instructions to go out there and bring judgment against these devils, and we gonna do it, man. We listen when the Lord gives us that spiritual power, man, and he tells us, "Yo, go judge." We gonna judge, man. We're gonna execute the judgment of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, against these devils, and they deserve it, because you see all of the wickedness that they're doing upon the face of the planet Earth, man. Every single stronghold that Edom thinks he's gonna build, the Lord's gonna throw down. And this is the book of Malachi, the first chapter and the 4th verse. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them, being the Edomites, the borders of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh have indignation forever. I mean, you know the history between Esau, Edom, and Jake, even before slavery, like when we were trying to go through their land to get when we came out of Egypt and we were trying to go through their land, and we laid promise to them that we wouldn't take any of their substance. If there was anything taken, we paid them for it. Forget one of the highways we were trying to pass through. Esau Edom came up against us and almost wanted to go to war with us, man. You know, when the Babylonians took us down, they were saying race it, even to the foundation thereof, handing them out Israelites, pointing out Jake that got away. Like, you had Agag that wanted Mordecai and Esther dead, the Amalekite that served in Persia. Like, these devils have always been a consistent thorn on our side. You know about the Grecians and everything that happened after Alexander died. You know about like the Romans and what they did unto us. Had us as a city state with crucifying our men, and it wasn't like they crucified Peter upside down and had the John the Revelator on assault mines. Listen, oh my God. Even to this day, these small hats still persecute us. They're out here living amongst us, causing hell, all sorts of problems. That whole they try to claim the whole line of Shem and call it Semitic rather than Shemitic. It's a joke. They can't answer where the northern kingdom are. They claim to be Judah and Levi, but they call it Levi, but they can't even tell you where little Benjamin is. They don't know where Naphtali, Issachar, Asher are, because they're devils, man. The terms Jews was ultimately, especially during the time of the Romans, used collectively as just a way to group Israelites, the southern kingdom. But the Jews pertain to Judah. You still got Benjamites and Levites, etc. Although the Jews, Judah, Yehowadah are the head tribe, you got 11 other tribes, you know, but they don't have the answers, man. And they're out here just trying to expand their territory through this Greater Israel project, just bombing up everywhere, bombing Iran, bombing Iraq, bombing Lebanon, bombing the Gaza Strip. But in actuality, none of those nations have a claim to be there. The actual people that belong in that land are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the actual true people of the Bible, the ones who Gabdul Abdal Nasser said left the land black, and ultimately they came back white in the form of these fucking devils, man. We're gonna get ours, man. We're gonna put our foot on the neck of these Edomites, man. And I'm telling you, the Lord Yahweh Kadash is gonna be with it, man. The God of Jacob. Yahweh loves Jacob and hates Esau, and you best believe even these nations, although the Lord distributes them as nothing, you got Jake among them first and foremost, and the Lord cares about his people. Even the wicked that are going to die, they're going to come back. So you're going to have to pay for all the hell you put on Jake and the people you killed over there. But then on top of that as well, these heathen are going to remember all of the wickedness that you've done, and they're going to get theirs, man. The true heathen Lebanese, they're going to get theirs. They're going to be taskmasters over you devils, man. And you small hat devils in particular, Amalek, everyone's going to want a piece of you, man. And you better believe you're in for a hard slug of 1,000 years of captivity. But anyway, the point has been made. I just wanted to show you that these devils just wreak havoc everywhere they go. On to the next time. Shalom. We're nearly out here. Kwame Yashala.